What's up, everybody? It's Janae Alexander, and welcome to Strut Majorette Dance Fitness. Today is Wellness Wednesday, where we discuss how to live a happier, healthier life. Today, we are focused on the mind, and we are talking about obsessive, healthy behaviors. I know it sounds really weird. How can a healthy behavior be bad for you? But they absolutely can. And today we're going to talk about how you can identify a healthy behavior that has become obsessive and what you can do to regulate it. As we jump into it, if you're finding that you enjoy this information and you're finding it really valuable, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and please hit the bell so that you can be notified of the next video upload. So let's start off our chat by defining obsessive behavior. Obsessive behavior is when you are constantly thinking or engaging in a particular behavior. The key here is occurrence. If something is always on your mind and you're always doing something, then that is an obsession. Occurrence meaning it happens like 5 times or more a day, or even 5 times or more in an hour. Thinking about these things will help you say, I do this a lot. Have I become obsessed with this? This is key because these behaviors alone are actually not bad behavior. Healthy behavior is supposed to help you improve your life in some way or form or fashion. But once it becomes obsessive, that's when it becomes unhealthy and it starts to have a negative impact on your well-being in 3 major ways. It could negatively impact you emotionally.
Emotional, damn it!
A lot of times, obsession is driven by a negative emotion. So for example, anger. You could be angry that you look a certain way. And so you are constantly engaging in a certain behavior to try to negate, looking that way or negate the anger. Maybe you are afraid of something. Maybe you are afraid of losing weight, or you are afraid of gaining weight. And so you're engaging in another behavior so that you can avoid whatever that fear is and try to keep it from coming true. So this is a way that a behavior can be emotionally triggered, and it has triggered you over and over and over again to where that behavior has become an obsession. The second way it can have a negative impact on your well-being is socially. You start to withdraw from your life just so you can engage in this behavior. So for example, maybe you don't go out with your friends because you're too busy at home meal prepping. And you're saying, well, how can that be negative? You would rather meal prep than go hang out with your friends. Not saying that you don't have to choose to meal prep instead of hanging out. It's not that choice every now and then. It's I no longer hang out with my friends because I need to be at home chopping up my carrots. I am going to chop up my carrots at all costs. Suddenly, your life has become less important than the behavior, or you're distracted from your obligations. You're starting to always be late picking up your child because you're like, I need to put in 2 extra hours in the gym because of A, B, and C. These are negative social impacts that you're having from this behavior. Thirdly, might be physical impacts. So maybe you are overworking yourself to the point of exhaustion. You're overexerting yourself, overstretching, and so you're causing yourself physical injury. Or you're not giving your body enough time to recuperate, and then you become sick. Maybe you're engaging in a certain behavior despite of already being hurt, already being sick. And you know that if you do not allow your body to heal, it's only going to get worse. And then you're going to pass out somewhere and you're going to be forced to rest so that your body can heal. These are perfect examples of when something healthy becomes unhealthy. So now that you know how obsessive healthy behaviors can impact your life, let's talk about what some of those behaviors are. Again, these behaviors on their own are not bad. They are not things that will hurt you or harm you, or that you should not be engaged in. They are unhealthy when they become obsessive. So what are some examples? Weighing yourself, dieting, fasting, exercising, counting calories, And then this last example is a little bit more tricky to pin down, but setting and holding yourself to unrealistic health goals. So what does that look like? It looks like, I am going to run a marathon next week, even though I haven't ran a mile in years. So you have this goal that you have set is unrealistic. You don't hit the goal because it's too high for where you are at the moment. It's not to say that you'll never run a marathon. That's not true. But if you only give yourself a week to do so and you're not already a runner, you're probably not going to be able to stick to it. Or if you do, you're going to be dying at the end. So you set the goal, you don't meet the goal, and then you're mad as heck. Instead of saying, you know what, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought I could run a marathon within a week. You say, it's my fault. I'm weak. I'm A, B, C, D, E. Fine. I'm gonna set another goal so that I can meet my original goal. I'm gonna run a marathon in 2 weeks. Another unrealistic goal that you don't hit and you get mad about. And so you see this cycle has begun of you setting goals you can't hit, getting angry, setting another goal you can't hit, and it's having all these negative emotional and probably physical impacts on your life. So what do you do once you have identified a unhealthy, healthy behavior? You want to regulate it. So I have 3 main recommendations for doing so. The first thing that you can try is to set a designated time to engage in the behavior. Because again, the behavior itself is not a bad thing. It's just about the frequency in which you engage in that behavior. So let's take weighing yourself. You say, I am going to weigh myself every morning when I first wake up. Doesn't matter, if it's right when I wake up or after I use the bathroom or after I get dressed. I just know that I'm going to weigh myself between opening my eyes and eating breakfast. Somewhere between there, I'm going to weigh myself. And that is my designated time. Some behaviors, it's okay to say, I'm going to do this every day, because things like weighing yourself every day is feasible. Some behaviors are not feasible to do every day, such as exercise. Can you exercise every day? Yes, but life happens. Sometimes meetings run late and you can't make it to the gym. Your baby gets sick and you gotta stay home with them. You're at the gym at 3 o'clock in the morning because that's the only way you could get to hit the goal that day. No, that's ridiculous. Don't hold yourself, down by those kind of things. So instead of saying, I'm gonna exercise every day, you might say, I'm gonna exercise 5 days a week for 30 minutes. And you set a time period for activities that take time. You don't wanna say, I'm going to exercise 4 days a week, but I'm going to exercise for 5 hours on those days. That's where you go back to being unrealistic and unhealthy. You want to make sure that you are setting healthy times and healthy frequencies for these behaviors. Second thing that you can do when it comes to obsessive healthy behavior is to journal about it. Understanding your thoughts behind the behavior is really key, because if you know where they're coming from, and you can process them, you can unpack maybe some trauma that is behind the behavior, then you might not even feel driven or compelled to engage in the behavior anymore. So let's take weigh-ins. What is the behavior that has become obsessive? Okay, I weigh myself entirely too much. Okay, what does that mean? How often do you weigh yourself? I weigh myself when I wake up, before I walk out the door, before I eat breakfast, after I eat breakfast, like literally before and after every meal that I eat. I weigh myself if I wake up in the middle of the night. If there just happens to be a scale in a bathroom that I'm in, I'll weigh myself. Wow, I really do engage in this kind of too much. And then you ask, why? Why do I weigh myself? Not really, why do I weigh myself so much? You can ask that. But maybe just start off with, why do I weigh myself? I weigh myself because I don't want to gain any more weight. Okay, that's fine. Why don't you want to gain any more weight? I don't want to gain any more weight because I really don't want to, have to buy any more clothes. That's probably superficial. Keep digging. Why else do you not want to gain more weight? I don't want to gain more weight because I don't want to go back to looking how I used to 5 years ago. Ding, 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 ding. Once you start uncovering those kind of thoughts, you can process deeper and deeper what that trigger is. Fear. I am afraid of looking the way I did 5 years ago. Why am I afraid of looking the way I did 5 years ago? Maybe because 5 years ago I was really depressed and I linked that directly to how I looked. In reality, it may not have been because of how you looked that you were depressed. It could have been an array of things, but you have pinpointed your weight as the cause of your depression, when really it could be so many other things that have nothing to do with it. So that's why journaling is really important. And this leads me to my third piece of advice for regulating obsessive behavior: to seek professional help. Once a behavior has become obsessive, it has gotten out of control. So if you have identified a healthy behavior in your life that is now obsessive, you have already lost control. That's not to say that you can't regain control on your own. It's very possible, but you don't have to do it on your own, okay? And for a lot of people, getting help might be the best option. Look into it and see about talking to a therapist to help you get to the bottom, get to the root of your obsessive behavior, and understand how to regulate it in your life. Let's recap. Healthy behaviors are good for you. They are intended to help you improve your life in some way. However, they become unhealthy once they become obsessive, meaning they are constantly on your mind and you are constantly engaging in some kind of activity, and it's now having a negative impact on you emotionally, socially, or physically. So it's really best to track down how often you're engaging in this behavior, try to get to the reason why you're engaging in this behavior, and seek professional help when it comes to regulating this behavior. If you would like to start an activity on processing your thoughts, go ahead and click the link below because I've included a free journaling prompt for you to get started. Do you have or have you ever had an obsessive healthy behavior? Or have you ever had just obsessive behavior in general? If you don't mind sharing, let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you found this information highly valuable. Please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more beautiful, juicy content on another Wellness Wednesday. Again, my name is Strut Alexander, and I'll see you next week. Peace!
Carry with my eyes blurred. I don't never miss, I ain't never worried now. I hear everything throw up.